This video is sponsored by Eniba.com, a fairly new online marketplace where you can get game keys and gift cards for PC, Xbox, PSN, Nintendo and much more. Check out the fantastic weekly deals with up to 70% off. Use the code Ikari during the registration to get another 3% off of every purchase, and have a fun time gaming. Alright, Elden Ring, it's here. It has dropped, like really dropped like a bomb. All you can see is 10 of 10 here, 10 of 10 there. It's almost ridiculous. But I say, let me be the judge of that. Absolutely perfect scores literally everywhere, and somehow the game is being slammed by the user reviews on Steam. Oh, I don't want to imply anything here, but cough cough, how much did you pay for those official reviews, cough cough? Many people are complaining about horrible performance, no matter how buff the hardware or which settings. I had some minor stutterings too, here and there, once I was in the big open world, but I thought it's because I'm on a shitty, outdated PC. But then I noticed my inputs being recognized like 2 seconds later, or even in between of other inputs all of a sudden, and I thought never fucking mind. But let me start from the very beginning. Originally I wanted to stream this to give you guys a genuine first-hand experience. But guess what? This masterpiece doesn't even run under Windows 7. It requires DirectX 12. There is a very tiresome workaround on the Nexus involving lots of third-party programs and patching files and pain in the ass, and in the end it does actually work. But with like 5 FPS if you have a Nvidia GFX. This bypass runs the game through something called Vulkan, and for some reason it does not play well with Nvidia cards. In other words, if you have Windows 7 and an Nvidia card, even if it is a juicy RTX 3090 or something, forget about it, it's unplayable. This is why I am recording it here in my gaming room on a Windows 10 PC. But okay, let's not dwell on this, those hardware difficulties are not related to the actual game, so we will let this one slide. However, the game begins, and it's actually like any other Souls game, several classes. I don't need to say anything to this. If you have been looking forward to this game, you know all this already. However, what the heck is body type A and body type B? It took me a while to figure this one out. There is actually a help function, but look at this shit. They explain to you what the stats do, and that's it. What the heck is the body type? I don't see any difference. Oh, wait. You can have a guy with a female body and vice versa. Jesus Christ, it's like in Cyberpunk. No, not this shit again. Can we just start the game now, please?
Leaves. Tell a story.
And then this. Still images at the opening cinematic. Oh my god, are they fucking shitting me? No, seriously, in my book that is already not a 10 of 10. Yes, I know, apologists will say, it's not important for the actual game, it doesn't affect the gameplay or anything, you don't understand. But come the fuck on, highly anticipated AAA bestseller masterpiece with a presentation like some generic indie game? Seriously?
A war leading to abandonment by the greater will. Oh, rise now, ye tarnished, ye dead, who yet live.
And the narrator keeps yelling his gibberish nonsense all over the place. Yes, I know. No, you don't understand. There is a deep, complex lore. You just have to piece it together by the things scattered throughout the game. It will all make sense later. Never liked this storytelling in From Software games. As someone who works full-time and only has barely a few hours a week to actually play, I'm too fucking busy figuring out weaknesses of overpowered bosses and enemies who can two-hit me and getting good. I don't have time for your cryptic lore jigsaw puzzles if we're just too lazy to implement into the game properly. But all that aside, just like the tradition of Souls games dictates, of course there will be an overpowered boss who can two-shoot you right at the beginning. Yeah, why even bother? Oh, wow, look, I actually managed to land a hit. Ooh, nice damage. Of course, I know that it is totally possible to beat him right here and now. If you do, one or the later game bosses will probably come out and ruffle stomp you, just like it was in Demon's Souls. But yeah, of course it's very unlikely to kill that thing on the first try. Whatever, you just wait. I shall have my revenge later, once I get good or download a trainer or something. So here begins the actual tutorial. It begins if you drop down there, says this ghost. Except that he is not voiced for some reason. The mouse moves, but only text, you actually have to read it. Well, 10 of 10 right there, fellas. Oh, I have not mentioned anything about the super duper jump feature we have now. One of the biggest highlights of this game. Now, unfortunately, unlike Sekiro, here you play a total buffoon who can't even grab onto ledges and pull himself up. See that mountain over there? No, you can't climb it, fuck you! Jumping is only good to get over waist-high obstacles in the open world. Probably to prevent you getting stuck in places. I bet this is the real reason they implemented it. Actually, speaking of Sekiro, this game here is really like a fusion between Sekiro and Souls games. You can do pretty much everything you can in the Souls games, like light attack, heavy attack, block, parry, switch between weapons, use a two-handed grip on every weapon. However, you can also go into sneak mode, for example, like in Sekiro, makes it much easier to backstab enemies. You can also do jump attacks, but all this is usually not as badass and flashy as it was in Sekiro. I really had to readjust to the fact that I cannot deflect and Mikiri everything, and then just boom and posture break and fatality. Nah, this plays more like Souls. Think, approach carefully, use different weapons and tactics, wait for an opening and strike. There are, however, also special moves each weapon got. Most of the time they are used when wielding with two hands. And they also consume your mana points for some reason, only that here they are called FP. FP? What, FAP points? Fart points? I don't even know. Anyway, this tutorial is insultingly easy. Just take a look at its so-called boss. Yes, if you attack right after blocking, you do massive damage with this counter. Obviously it won't work on tougher enemies just like that, because they have poison shit. They will just lol and keep swinging at you. Anyway, the actual game finally begins. Bonfires have been replaced with Grace. Who is Grace? Do you want to touch Grace? It asks. Oh, you bet, I'd be right happy to. Also, this is like Souls, though there is co-op gameplay. You have to use those fingers to call other players to your world or to enter their worlds. Seriously? Fingers? This game is literally giving you the finger right here. Don't tell me that is not on purpose. The developers are probably laughing their asses off as they count the money. Also, why the hell is the Y button to confirm instead of A? I keep jumping around like an idiot all the time because of that. So we have an open world in this game kinda. On one hand, this is cool, because exploring and stuff, beautiful landscapes, realism. On the other hand, weird stuttering, poor pathfinding, and retarded AI that easily gets stuck in objects. Yes, there is this golden rider with a huge ass axe over there. I'm not stupid, obviously he will two-shoot me and is meant for later. This is another thing with the open world. You can easily just skip everything. The AI here is pretty retarded as mentioned. They will barely notice you from 5 meters away, even if you start picking them off one by one. They will instead go and investigate the corpse. I wonder what happened here. Ah, must have been the wind. Also, why the hell are they running around with torches during the day? Yes, there is a cycle of night and day, but the enemies always behave absolutely the same. Why do they not switch to shields while it's bright outside? You know, like in Skyrim, a game released more than 10 years ago, and always ridiculed for how bad its AI is. Shields are overrated anyway, right? 10 of 10, fellas. Game of the year, I bet. Ah, look, this guy over there got the right idea. He killed me the first time, not gonna lie. This is one of the slightly tougher enemies and requires more caution. But honestly, this game feels much easier than the last one, Sekiro. Mini-bosses there were a whole different story. Here you don't need mad reflexes or anything, just choose the correct approach and you are good. Also, if you die, you lose all your souls, except that here they are called runes, and you have to go back to where you died and pick the stuff up. It's easier than in Souls games because here there is a map marker for that, because wide open world and everything, but once again you can just sneak or circle around things, so it's really way easier. Seriously, even if you get spotted, you can easily just run past most enemies without any problems. They won't even chase you for long. That's right, fellas, hold right there, can't touch this. See this line on the floor? Not one step further. That's it. Turn around and go home. The show's over. It becomes even easier once you get the horse. And honestly, the horse is a super fun addition to the game. It is super fast, has great maneuverability and can jump like a mountain goat. You also take way less damage on horseback and can literally troll your enemies. Of course, only if the game is so kind to accept your inputs. It was on horseback where I noticed the delays the most. Sometimes the game would literally react several seconds later, and the guy would swing his sword or jump long after I passed the enemies, and sometimes even turned around to do something else. It's a mess. It's like some inputs are being delayed and placed after others for some reason, and then at some point you of course get knocked off from horseback. But seriously, why is everything and everyone in this game so dead set on killing me? In Sekiro it made sense, but here it actually contradicts with the story. During the awesome opening cutscene they said that the one almighty ring, Lord of the Rings ripoff, got shattered into many pieces and now everyone is set to try and get a shard of it. So you would think there would be some kind of competition, but no! Later, for example, you get to a valley with several dudes who will shoot crossbows at you, while you have to deal with that Attack on Titan wannabe monster. I mean, it's okay if the humans are teaming up in groups, but even all the monsters are just standing there waiting for you to arrive to kick your ass. You never see enemies fight against each other, even if they stand literally next to each other. I mean, I understand that it's way easier to program this kind of AI, so it's actually just a lazy developer choice, so once again, an absolute 10 of 10 right there. Of course you can separate them and defeat them one by one, that's not the problem, or once again you can just run past them. You can easily outrun this big guy, because he will respawn just like any other enemy once you rest at a checkpoint. But all this just kinda gives one a very weird aftertaste of pointlessness and broken immersion. Well, one more positive thing, there are actually some quality cutscenes after all.
Greetings, traveler from beyond the fog. I am Melina.
Yes, this cutscene is like 10 seconds long. But anyway, wait, seriously, get a lot of this super praised lore in those games. So, there are the Finger Maidens who belong to the Two Fingers Club. I wonder what they are doing there. And also you need a maiden to finger, I mean to help you upgrade your character using runes and so on. So this girl offers to be your Finger Maiden? What's this game's obsession with fingers? Who the heck wrote this script? Yeah, anyway, you can also attach different skills to your weapons using the Ashes of War menu. One per weapon and it always overrides the old skill. Yes, overall the gameplay here is really good. As already mentioned, it's a nice mix of Souls and Sekiro mechanics, and honestly the combat is a lot of fun. Seriously, this game is not that bad at all. I can even totally look past all the stuttering and other performance issues. It's really not as bad as the user reviews say, in my opinion. As I said, I tested this game on a pretty outdated PC and was surprised how well it ran on high settings. On the recording it actually looks a bit choppier than what I actually saw on the screen, Because, yeah, this is unfortunately that Open Broadcaster Studio doesn't work that well under Windows 10, which is also one of the reasons I refuse to downgrade to this steaming pile of shit on my main PC. Another thing I should mention is that I have no internet connection here, so I was not able to test the co-op option, and I can totally imagine this game running way worse in online mode, but I can't say for sure. But even if we ignore all the performance issues and look plainly at the gameplay, AI and presentation, I think the Souls concept worked way better with a predetermined path and level design, and this whole open world thing with a night and day change. It's actually a downgrade and really waters down the atmosphere and the overall experience. I will not say it's a bad game, not at all. It is still very well done for the most part, and I will not lie, I had a lot of fun with it, but all the perfect 10 of 10 scores on every board, no way. I played it for just a couple of hours and found more than enough things to bust this myth for good. So unfortunately I have to call this one in. The reviews are fake. Seriously, From Software, instead of buying those scores, you should rather invest into fixing and improving the game itself. But unfortunately, you decided to invest into the hype. Shame on you.